for watching Fugitive Red-Eye, and welcome to another Creepypasta reading and review. Here we have Conker's Worst Fur Day, which I first heard of on a Mudahar video of all things, back when he used to do Creepypasta readings back in the day. It's a Conker Creepypasta, which is my favorite video game, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a good Creepypasta. You'll see what I think at the end, but this one has Kino and Guy doing part of the reading as well, because I actually had to record this twice. The first time, I did just a normal straight-up reading of the Creepypasta, but I must have forgot to save the Audacity file, and I was really pissed off and didn't want to do it again. But since I was in a call with those guys, I was like, hey, you guys want to do part of this too? And so that's what happened. Let's just dive in. I'm seriously freaked out right now. I just played a messed up game / ROM called Conker's Worst Fur Day. Anyway, I know I should tell you my story. When I was younger, I owned an N64, and for my birthday, I got a game called Conker's Bad Fur Day. It was a game meant for adults due to swearing, blood, nudity, sexual references, and so on. But my parents just saw the cover and thought, oh, this looks like a cute game. Perfect for our son's birthday.
I love that game. I didn't tell my parents about its content because I knew they'd return it. I played through it and laughed a lot, although I would have laughed even more if I'd understood some of the jokes back then.
So earlier today, I was watching a YouTube video about Sonic, and I came across a video called Eggman's The Great Mighty Pooh. Sounded familiar, so I saw another related video titled Conker Bad Fur Day, Great Mighty Pooh.
Seeing this reminded me of the game, and suddenly I had a huge urge to play it again. I already had an N64 emulator, Project 64, that I used to relive games like Mario 64 and Zelda. So I googled Conker ROM, exactly like that. I clicked, I'm feeling lucky, and landed on a page I don't remember. I just wanted to play the game. The page was almost blank except for a button in the middle that said, download Conker's Worst Fur Day.zip. I know it sounds dumb that I didn't find the name odd, but I clicked the button anyway. It downloaded and I started playing. The game didn't open with the usual cute N64 logo and Conker slicing it in half with a chainsaw. Instead, it started with a gray squirrel, like the one from the bar in the menu, running in a poorly lit room. Then a mangled, bloody, and wounded Conker appeared behind him and sawed him in half with a chainsaw, spilling guts, bones, everything.
Then, Conker looked directly at the screen with his torn, bloody face and said, "You're in hell, fucker." His voice was off, deeper, and the audio quality was terrible.
The strange thing was that, in the original Cucker, the word cuck is censored, but in this ROM, it wasn't. I didn't notice this at first. Man, it was a mistake to keep playing. The game started with Cucker entering the bar, but instead of the usual menu, all you could hear was loud, eerie, depressing moaning. I immediately turned down the volume. I don't want my parents to think that sax on the TV. I'm paranoid about certain sounds, especially moaning, because sex on the TV. Which reminds me of a childhood incident where I had sex in a scary movie. Sex with it.
Then blood started seeping out from under the bar door, mixing with puddles of rain. The screen faded to black, and it cut to the area where you start the game with a hangover. Finally I can play, I thought. I was wrong.
There was no cutscene, and Conker was perfectly fine. I pressed B, and Conker swung a chainsaw instead of the usual frying pan. Cool, I thought. I get a chainsaw. I jumped over the fence to talk to Birdie, but when I approached him, Conker said, "Hey, shithead, give me some help." Birdie responded,
"Why, you suck. Do you need anything? You know how to play, moron."
What the fuck? I thought. I just took a deep breath and kept going. It was true. I knew the controls, but it felt weird. And Conker said, "You fucking shithole! I'll cut your fucking head off!" A light bulb appeared over Conker's head, and I pressed B, and the game entered a cutscene.
It was dark, lit only by lightning flashes. Screen flashed a disturbing image of Conker killing Birdie with the chainsaw. The same creepy voice said,
"Not in hell, fucker."
The screen stayed black. Then Conker reappeared with hyper-realistic eyes, and I got control again.
I noticed Birdie was gone, but I pressed on up the mountain path. The gargoyle wasn't there, and I could hear a strange hissing noise in the background. I headed into the cave, expecting the usual fork in the road. But instead of a bright field, Conker entered a path to the haunted house. I kept going, but forgot about the skeleton snakes, and one attacked me. But instead of the usual animation where Conker's chewed up and spit out, the snake pinned him down, asserting dominance, biting him over and over. Guts, bones, and eyes spilled everywhere, because Conker was known for having a lot of eyes.
The snake let out a demonic cry before disappearing into the ground. I expected the game to restart at the last checkpoint, but instead, it showed Conker lying in an endless room filled with zombies from the graveyard level. His body was mangled, and his face had no eyes, just empty sockets.
Suddenly, Conker moaned and said, "Oh, you never know a good thing until it's gone." The word "gone" was so loud. "Gone!" was so loud and terrifying. I shut off the sound. Alright, guys, shut off your sound. It startled me so much I almost wet myself. Alright, piss your pants. I ran to the bathroom and came. Okay, you have to come. Back to see Conker being devoured by zombies, leaving only his head. Alright, get killed.
Zombies turned to the screen and started walking toward it. I pressed B and pulled out a shotgun, as if the game had turned into a first-person shooter like Halo. I shot them, one by one, until they were all GONE!
Then Conker's severed head moans again. He said,
Don't be like me. Learn to love, not money. Be kind, fellas. Hey.
I had tears running down my face, and I nodded.
Conker's head let out one last gasp and said, "Good." This time it sounded like the real Conker. Then the screen faded to black, and the emulator closed by itself. I deleted the ROM and shut down my computer. Even now I can still hear his voice echoing in my head, saying, "Good." That ROM was a message to me. I used to be greedy, and I'd eat like cookies and stuff before bed, but now I don't. Okay? Good.
Okay, you clean your plate.
So as you probably guessed, this creepypasta was shit, as you heard listening to it. Just loaded with all sorts of cliches. It's not good at all. And it's funny, because back in the day when Mutahar would do readings, he would do this thing where he would, like, try and determine whether or not it could be real for some reason, as if there was ever any realism or credence to any of these creepypastas. I suppose you could make the argument with some of them. He was trying to say, he was, what's technologically possible and stuff. But even then, back then, he was a terrible narrator. But nevertheless, those videos are nostalgic for me, and I did enjoy Mutahar's old one. So this was one that I heard way back when, and thought I'd take a look at myself, since there's not a ton of readings of it on YouTube. As I said, it's a shit creepypasta. It's not good at all. There is some charm to just how corny and cliche it is, with all the gore and stupid shit in it. But it is also just funny that there's like a bunch of swearing, like Conker saying, "Hey, fucker, tell me how to play," and fucking Birdie being like, "No, you fucking shithead moron, you know how to play," all this unnecessary swearing and dumb bullshit in it is really funny. It's probably a troll pasta, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure, because old creepypastas had that stank to them, but it does feel kind of trolly. But anyway, it was fun to read, even though I had to do it twice, which did piss me off quite a bit. In fact, I thought of just doing a pissed-off reading, which might have also been entertaining. But hopefully Guy and Kino made it better by being there and having some fun with it. We also, changed some little tiny bits. Not a ton, it wasn't anywhere near to the degree as the Candle Cove stuff, but there were some liberties taken. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one. Doodles.
What are you doing? Subscribe to Fugitive Red Eye.